Chosen one, stop scrolling for a moment and listen carefully, because what you are about to hear is not random, and it is not something you just happened to find. This moment was aligned for you, and deep down, before your mind even has time to question it, something inside you already knows that. 9 days ago, something happened. Not something loud, not something dramatic, not something anyone applauded or even noticed. In fact, it lasted exactly 7 seconds. Just 7 seconds, so small, so ordinary, so easy to dismiss that you likely moved on without a second thought. You may not even remember it now. If I asked you to replay that exact moment, your mind would probably go blank. But beyond what you can see, beyond what you can remember, something was recorded. Because in realms where time does not move the way it does here, where every human action is seen, weighed, and understood at its source, not its size, those 7 seconds did not go unnoticed. Something happened that had not happened for over 2,000 years. God screamed. Not a whisper, not a gentle approval, not a quiet smile from a distant throne. He screamed. A reaction so powerful, so sudden, so violently unexpected that it broke the silence of heaven itself. A sound so rare within the order of eternity that even the angels' beings who have witnessed galaxies ignite, who have seen empires rise and collapse, who have stood present at the most defining moments of human history, froze. They froze, because even they had never seen this before. And as you hear this, I know what your mind is doing. You're resisting it. You're telling yourself, this can't be about me. You're thinking this must be meant for someone else, someone extraordinary, someone bold, someone who performed a great act that changed lives, someone worthy of recognition, someone visible. But that belief is about to be shattered, because what shook heaven was not a grand gesture. It was not a heroic sacrifice. It was not something the world would ever celebrate. It was something far more rare. It was you, acting without thinking. A moment where kindness rose from you before your mind could calculate, before fear could interrupt, before logic could step in, before self-interest could ask, what do I gain from this? You didn't stop. You didn't measure. You didn't question. You simply moved. And in that movement, something was revealed. Not what you do, but who you are. Stay with me, because this is where everything changes. What makes this moment so powerful is not what you did, but how you did it. Because everything the world has taught you about goodness is incomplete. You've been told that goodness is something you plan, something you choose after thinking it through, something you measure who deserves it, how much it will cost you, what it might give back in return. That kind of goodness is real. It is respected. It is even rewarded. But it is also filtered. It passes through the mind first. It negotiates. It calculates. It protects. And then there is another kind, the kind you didn't even realize you carried, uncalculated kindness, the kind that rises before thought has time to form, the kind that doesn't wait for permission, doesn't pause for logic, doesn't ask if it's convenient. It simply moves because it has to, because it is not something you perform, it is something you are. And that is what happened in those 7 seconds. You didn't stop to ask if it made sense. You didn't check if anyone was watching. You didn't weigh the outcome or measure the cost. There was no internal debate, no hesitation, no strategy. There was only response. And that response revealed something deeper than behavior. It revealed identity. This is why heaven reacted the way it did. Because heaven does not measure actions the way humans do. It does not look at size, visibility, or recognition. It looks at source. Where did it come from? Was it calculated, or was it pure? There is a moment in Scripture that mirrors this kind of movement. A woman, desperate for healing, pushed through a crowd and reached out to touch the edge of Jesus' garment. She didn't ask permission. She didn't announce herself. She didn't wait for the right moment. Her body moved before her mind could fully explain why. And when she touched him, something happened. Power flowed. Jesus stopped and said, "Someone touched me." I felt power go out from me. Out of everyone surrounding him, it was not the loudest, not the most visible, not the most deserving by human standards. It was the one who moved with pure, unfiltered faith. That is the difference. Calculated goodness is seen. Spontaneous goodness is felt. And what moved through you in those 7 seconds was something that could be felt across realms. Not because it was big, but because it was real. Now, you are ready to understand why those 7 seconds carried such weight. Because what you did was not random. It carried 3 unmistakable marks, 3 signs that, when they appear together, reveal something incredibly rare. The first was that it was spontaneous. There was no pause, no internal conversation, no moment where you stepped back to evaluate the situation. Need appeared, and you were already moving. That kind of response cannot be trained in the moment. It does not come from discipline or image. It comes from identity. When there is no time to filter, your true nature answers, and yours answered with generosity. The second, it was costly, not necessarily in a way the world would notice, but in a way that mattered. You gave while you were already carrying your own weight. You helped while tired. You responded while dealing with your own struggles, your own pressures, your own silent battles. Your kindness did not wait for abundance. It did not require you to have extra. It flowed even in lack. And that kind of giving reveals something deeper than convenience. It reveals authenticity. The third, it was invisible. No audience, no recognition, no validation. No one to praise you or even acknowledge what you did. You acted, and then you moved on. You didn't stay to be seen. You didn't look back to measure the impact. You didn't need confirmation. And in that invisibility, the act became pure. Because when no one is watching, the only reason left to act is who you truly are. Spontaneous, costly, invisible. These 3 together are not common. In fact, they are extremely rare. Most acts of kindness carry 1, maybe 2 of these marks, but all 3 aligned in a single moment, without effort, without intention, that almost never happens. And yet, it happened through you. That is why this moment matters. Because it allows you to see something about yourself that you may have never fully recognized before. Not what you try to be, but what you already are. And the reaction from heaven was not isolated. It was witnessed. There were beings present, ancient ones, who have observed humanity long before cities had names, long before history was written, long before patterns of behavior became predictable. Angels who have seen faith rise and fall, who have watched compassion flicker and fade across generations. To them, human response is usually familiar. They know what to expect. When someone burdened by their own struggles encounters another in need, the pattern is almost always the same. Hesitation, calculation, a quiet pause where the mind weighs cost, risk, and reward. Even in moments of goodness, there is often a delay, a space where self-preservation speaks before action follows. They have seen that moment millions of times. But when they watched you, that pattern broke. There was no pause, no hesitation, no internal resistance. Need appeared, and your response was immediate, as natural as breathing. And in that instant, something happened that did not fit anything they had recorded before. They were stunned, because kindness, this pure, this unfiltered, this instinctive, is not something they witness often. In fact, it is so rare that when it does appear, it disrupts expectation itself, and that is exactly what your action did. But the angels were not the only witnesses. There was another presence, the one who searches for flaws, the one who accuses, the one who studies every human action, looking for motive, for inconsistency, for anything that can be used to discredit what is good. This voice has never struggled to find something to say until now, because when your action was examined, there was nothing to expose. No hidden agenda, no delayed intention, no desire for recognition, no trace of self-interest. And, for the first time, in that moment, the accuser fell silent. That silence was not small, it was significant, because when accusation fails, something deeper is confirmed, not perfection, but authenticity. And above all of this, there was the response from God. Not passive, not distant, not delayed. A command was released, a declaration that moved across every spiritual realm with urgency and authority. This one is not performing goodness. This one is goodness. Protect them, guard them, cover them now. This was not symbolic, it was immediate. Because when something this rare is revealed, heaven does not wait. And from that moment forward, something shifted. Not symbolically, not emotionally, but actively. Protection was activated. Not the kind you imagine in stories, but the kind that moves quietly, precisely, without announcement. Things that were meant to reach you didn't. Situations that could have unfolded against you dissolved before they ever formed. Conversations aligned at the exact moment you needed them. Delays that once frustrated you suddenly revealed themselves as protection in disguise. You may not have noticed it at first. In fact, most people don't. Because when protection is working at its highest level, it does not draw attention to itself. It simply removes what was never meant to touch you. At the same time, something else began to open. Doors. Not forced, not chased, not manipulated, but placed in front of you at the right moment, in the right way, without requiring you to become someone you are not. Opportunities that feel aligned, not exhausting. Paths that don't demand you to betray your nature just to survive. This is not coincidence. This is response. Because when a heart proves its purity, heaven does not remain passive. It responds with alignment. And one of the clearest signs of that alignment is timing. Things begin to happen at the exact moment they are supposed to. Not too early, not too late. Encounters feel intentional. Delays start making sense. What once felt like missed chances reveal themselves as necessary pauses. It is as if time itself begins to bend not around your control, but around your alignment. You stop forcing, and things start flowing. You stop chasing, and what is meant for you starts finding you. And beyond protection, beyond open doors, beyond shifting timing, there is something even more rare. Attention, direct attention, not distant, not delayed, not filtered through layers, but immediate. Your thoughts are felt as they form. Your struggles are seen as they rise. Your needs are recognized before you even have the words to express them. There is a responsiveness that begins to surround your life, subtle but undeniable. Help arrives in unexpected ways. Insight comes at the exact moment. Confusion appears. Strength shows up right when you feel like you are about to break. This is not luck. This is not chance. This is what happens when something within you aligns so deeply with truth that heaven responds without hesitation. Because what you revealed in those 7 seconds was not just kindness, it was clarity. And clarity always receives a response. Now you can begin to understand something that may have confused you for a long time. The pain you've carried was never proof that you were weak. It only felt that way because no one explained what it was really doing. You've been through moments that didn't make sense. Situations that seemed unfair. Pressures that felt targeted, personal, almost as if life kept choosing you to carry more than your share. And at times, you questioned it. You wondered why things seemed harder for you, why the weight didn't lift, why the struggles kept repeating. But what if none of that was random? What if it was revealing something? Because trials do not create your identity, they expose it. When everything is easy, anyone can appear kind. Anyone can appear patient, anyone can appear strong. But when pressure is applied, when you are tired, when you are stretched, when you are hurt, that is when what is real begins to surface. And through all of it, you did not become what hurt you. You were given reasons to close off, but you remained open. You were given reasons to harden, but something in you stayed soft. You were given reasons to become indifferent, but you still chose to care. That is not weakness, that is evidence, because pressure only reveals what cannot be faked. Fire does not destroy what is real, it exposes it. And what your life has been doing, quietly, consistently, over time, is proving that what lives inside you cannot be corrupted easily, that no matter what you faced, something essential remained intact. That is why it felt isolating, because people like you are not common. You may have felt misunderstood, like others couldn't fully relate to how you see the world, how you feel, how you respond. You may have wondered why you were set apart, why certain connections didn't last, why certain environments felt uncomfortable no matter how hard you tried to fit in, but you were not being rejected. You were being preserved, held back, set aside, not to be hidden, but to be protected until the right time. Because when something carries this level of authenticity, this level of unfiltered goodness, it cannot be placed just anywhere. It cannot grow in environments that would distort it or force it to become something else. So you were guided differently. Not abandoned, but contained. And now, for the first time, you can begin to see it clearly. Nothing you went through was wasted. It was all revealing who you have been all along. And this is where everything begins to shift. Because what comes next is not something you have to chase. It is something that has already started moving toward you. You are not alone. It may have felt that way for a long time. The silence, the distance, the sense that you were carrying something others could not understand. But that feeling was never the full truth. There are others, rare, scattered, but real, who carry the same instinctive light you do. You will begin to recognize them. Not by what they say, but by what they are. There is a clarity in their presence, a calm strength that does not come from hardness, but from endurance, a kindness that survived what should have destroyed it. When you encounter them, something in you will feel it immediately, not excitement, not noise, but recognition. Because alignment is not loud, it is precise. And that alignment is already beginning. You may not see it fully yet, but you will start to notice the signs. Certain paths that once felt blocked will begin to open, not through force, but through flow. Opportunities will appear that do not require you to compromise your nature. You will not have to become someone else to step into what is meant for you. Things will begin to fit. Not perfectly, not instantly, but clearly, in a way that removes confusion. In a way that replaces pressure with direction. And with that, your life will start to open. Not all at once, but in layers. Peace will begin to settle where anxiety once lived. Rest will return where constant tension used to follow you. You will feel a quiet stability forming, even if the world around you has not changed. Because the shift is not happening outside first, it is happening within. And from that place, everything else begins to respond. What once felt distant will come closer. What once felt delayed will begin to move. What once felt uncertain will start to make sense. You are not approaching something random. You are stepping into something prepared. And, for the first time, you will not have to force your way forward. You will walk, and the path will meet you. Before you leave this moment, don't ignore what you just felt. If something inside you stirred, if something resonated deeper than words, that is not something to brush past. That is recognition. And moments like this are meant to be anchored, not forgotten. Take a second right now to support this message. Like this video so it can reach others who are searching for clarity just like you. Subscribe and stay connected not just to a channel, but to a space where your growth, your healing, and your alignment truly matter. And I want you to do something intentional. Go down into the comments and write 777 or 999. Not as a trend, not as a habit, but as a quiet declaration that you receive what is unfolding in your life. And if you feel comfortable, share your city and where you are listening from. Let this be a moment of connection, a reminder that you are not alone in this. Now, take a breath. Heavenly Father, source of all truth and light, you see what the world overlooks. You know every silent act, every unseen moment of kindness, every choice this soul has made when no one was watching. Strengthen what is pure within them. Protect what has been revealed. Guide their steps into alignment, into peace, into purpose. Let no force distort what you have preserved. Let clarity rise where confusion once lived. And let everything that has begun continue to unfold exactly as it was meant to. In faith, Amen.